What's up, KOM chasers? Here we go. We got another good segment for you today. And today I'm riding in Banning, California again. So this is actually going to be a road ride. I think most of my other Banning segments have been dirt gravel rides. So this is going to be a fun little change, and this is a fantastic segment. It's very competitive. A lot of people ride this one. All right, here's the start of our segment. So the segment is the Banning Bench West KOM. All right. And so just some background information on this KOM. It is 2.67 miles, 678 feet of elevation gain, and an average gradient of 4.8%. And it continues like this for about 2 miles, and then it gets a little bit easier. Right up at the top, it levels off a little bit, has a slight decline, and a little bit more climbing right before you finish it off. So let's go ahead and take a look at our KOM holder, and his name is Jay. And he did this in 11 minutes and 57 seconds. So his average speed was 13.4 miles per hour, which you can see is a whole lot faster than I'm going right now. I'm doing 8 miles per hour, and I'm really pushing it. I'm pushing it pretty hard. I'm mid 200 watt range up to the 300 range, back and forth like that. And when you look at Jay's profile, it looks like he does not have the power meter, or at least not when he did this ride, but Strava estimated his watts to be 322 for this segment. Now, prior to this attempt that I'm making right now, I have never gone full out for this entire segment. And so I've done it in pieces, going pretty hard, but there's also been times that I've stopped at the top to refill water, and so I've never done it start to finish all out. And so my previous time up to this point was about 25 minutes. And so here I'm trying to shatter my PR and really put a solid time on the board. I'll give you a little bit about my strategy that I'm using to get up this. And it's just like any other hill, but this one's a little bit longer. A lot of my more difficult segment hills that I do are about a mile long, and so I'll knock it out in about 8 minutes or so if it's between 5 and 6%. But this one is more than double that, and so I still use the same approach. I try and start off the segment conserving just a little bit. I like to be around in the 250 watt range, and then once I get about halfway up, then I could assess whether or not I'm feeling well enough to step it up, because I feel a whole lot better if I save some energy for the last half. Then I could really pump up the volume as I approached the end, especially if I could start getting a little bit of wind in my lungs when the grade starts leveling out. I feel like once the grade drops down to like 3 or 4%, compared to the 7 and 8% that it's been this whole time, 4% feels almost downhill, and so your speed could really pick up. You really feel like you're getting that second breath, and it just makes you feel like you're flying. See, here we go, down to negative 2%. This is the slight decline that I told you about, and I'm up to 20 miles per hour. It's actually difficult for me at this point to hold 200 watts because I just started spinning my gears. I had to upshift quite a bit to get some power behind my pedals. So there's just that little downhill part, and then it went back up and then leveled off again, and it's just doing this little rolling up and down. So I feel like it gives you just enough time to recover, and then you could hit the next uphill pretty darn hard. So we are approaching the end of our segment here at the dead end, or when this road tees off, that's the end. And here it comes, approaching, there's the end, and there we go. Okay, so there's our segment. So I got my results there up on the board. You can see how I did. I did it in 14 minutes and 59 seconds. So I took about 11 minutes off my time here. And so that was huge. And I'm just a few minutes behind the KOM, which I feel like that KOM is a tough one to beat. I'd have to take about 4 minutes, about 4 minutes off in order to hit that KOM, which might be doable. I mean, 11 minutes compared to 14 minutes, that's a significant amount of time. If you look at the miles per hour also, his 13 miles per hour versus my average speed of 10.7 or whatever it was, I feel like that sounds like a lot, But over the course of 2.67 miles, that I feel like that could come down pretty easily, and especially if you compare the wattages, because my average watts here was 246 for this entire segment, and I feel like if I could get that up to 275, that's probably going to drop at least a minute off my time for this segment. And then from there, hitting 300, or if you could build your way up to getting an FTP of 300 and maybe hold a little bit more than that, I feel like the KOM's within reach. If you could hold like 325, then I bet that would get you the KOM, which this guy Jay, he did it in 322 is what Strava estimated. So definitely attainable, I believe. So wrapping this up, I really encourage you to come out here to Banning, California. This is an awesome segment. I really like the area. It's beautiful up here, and there's not a whole lot of traffic. All those cars that you saw, which I think there were probably 4, 5, or maybe 6 cars that passed me going the same direction that I was going, those people all live up there. There's not a whole lot of people living up there, so not a whole lot of traffic. There's no shoulder to the road either, but there's so few cars and you knock the segment out so quickly that it doesn't feel like a big deal. And then the descent on the other side, which is where I'm at right now, I'm going down Bluff Street, crushing the speeds right here. I'm going 34 miles per hour, so just killing it down this whole hill. I've got my gears maxed out completely and just flying down here. So the descent is very fun also, and it's its own segment. I'll have to do a video on the descent sometime because it's a fast one. Anyway, come out and enjoy the ride, enjoy the area, and have fun.